Hey everybody, it's the West Coast Paper Crafter. You are joining me February 17th in my craft room in East Sault, Vancouver Island, Canada. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and tonight I am going to show you a quick and easy pocket fold card. It is super cute. I just kind of stumbled across it on the weekend. I've never made one of these before. So I'm excited to show you how it all comes together. So I'm going to be using the Floral Delight Designer Series paper for this card and the stamp set from the Delightful Wishes set, which I actually don't have handy to show you. Shoot, I should have thought about that before I got started. Here it is. All right, so I'm using a sentiment from the Delightful Wishes stamp set. I'm using the paper from the Suite and the bee trinkets and the ribbon from the Suite as well. All right, so let's get started. If you are crafting along, you will need your paper trimmer because we're going to be doing a little bit of cutting. So for the base, I've got Old Olive. Hey Janice, hello Kate. This is 5.5 by 4.25. So it's a quarter sheet of cardstock, 5.5 by 4.25. Then I've got some of the patterned paper from the Floral Delight pack, and this is 4 by 5.25. And I'm just going to mat this right onto this Old Olive cardstock. Then we've got another piece of Old Olive. This is 8 by 3, and it's scored in half on the long side at 4 inches. So this is just going to fold right in half. Well, hello, Jim Peggy Barker. Thanks for tuning in. I'm glad it's your first time. I'm glad you found me. I hope you enjoy what we're making tonight. All right, then I've got a piece of Old Olive. This is, I have to think about it, 3.5 by 3.5. Another piece of the patterned paper from the Floral Delight pack. This is 3.25 by 3.25. Another piece of the Designer Series paper, and this one is 2.75 by 3.75. Some white for the inside, 2.75 by 3.75. And then I went ahead and I cut out some of the pieces out of the patterned paper. Some of the end pieces, you can see they're not full pieces because I wanted to salvage them. So I'm going to use them to decorate the card. Now, do not worry, don't rush writing down those measurements that I just spit out, because I'm going to post the measurement photo in the comments of this video as soon as it's done. And so don't worry about that. And then if you're watching this on replay on YouTube, you're going to find the measurements in the video description. Now I just cut a little sentiment piece with a die cut from an old set. I think it was the Thoughtful Expressions. It's not around anymore, so I'm just going to use that for my sentiment. Just use whatever you have. All right, so let's get started. We are going to do a little bit of cutting. So we're going to start out by cutting this piece of Old Olive that's 3.5 by 3.5. We're going to cut it in half on the diagonal. Hello, Kay from Tuscan. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, Sherry. Hello, Brenda. I hope I'm not missing comments. If I do, I apologize. It's not you, it's me not being able to keep up. But I do go back and I read all the comments and I will reply if I missed yours during the live. All right, so I've got a Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer. I'm going to line up this square in the track corner to corner. So I'm looking at it like it's a diamond, right? So I've got one point lined up in the track and the other points lined up in the track, and then I'm just going to cut that in half. Now, I like to start in the middle because if I run my blade and try to catch that tiny little point of cardstock, sometimes it will snag and it's not going to be a perfect cut. So I like to just start in the middle, cut up, cut down, and then I have got perfect halves. So we only need one. I'm going to set aside the other piece for a second project. And we're going to do the same thing with the piece of patterned paper that is 3.25 by 3.25. Hello, Christine, Mona, and Kathy. Mona, I'm glad you're finally catching alive. All right. Now, same thing, point to point. So line up the points of your square in your track. So you're looking at it like it's a diamond. So I've got one corner in the track, the other corner's in the track. I'm going to cut it right in half. And there we go. I don't think I need the paper trimmer anymore. I don't think. I'm just going to put it not too far away in case I do need it, because this is only the second time I have made this card, and I forgot to put out the sample that I made last night so I could follow along with what I made last night. Anyway, it's typical. So now we've got lots of pieces. We can start gluing things together, and I'm going to start by gluing down my biggest piece of pattern paper onto my base. So this piece of pattern paper again is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I'm going to glue this down onto my quarter piece of cardstock that is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. Now, I can't remember if I gave you the right measurements. The pattern paper is 4 inches by 5 1/4. The cardstock that I'm gluing it down on is 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2. Goodness. Anyway, I might be one of those special people that needs caffeine at all hours of the day. Otherwise, I don't function very well. I probably should get in the habit of having a little shot of espresso before I do a live so I don't mess things up. Anyways, you guys are a forgiving bunch, and I appreciate you. Hey, Wendy from Kamloops. Not too far from me, a little 4-hour drive. Once you get off the boat, that is. All right, now. So what I love about my Tombow is I can manipulate my patterned paper and get it perfectly straight, because I typically don't ever glue anything down straight. That's why when you watch my lives, you're very rarely going to see me use Stampin' Seal. I just need a little wiggle room. So now I'm taking that triangle of patterned paper, the one that we cut in half on the diagonal. I'm adding some Tombow, and I'm going to glue that down onto the cardstock that we cut in half as well. I'm just going to mat that down. We got about, I want to say, an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around, like so. And then this is going to be glued down into the left bottom corner, but just partially glued down because we're making a pocket. So you can use tear and tape and just throw some tear and tape right on the 2 edges and leave one edge open, or you can use your Tombow. If you use your Tombow, which I will do, you just want to make sure that it's a very thin line. So I know that I'm just going to place it down and make sure I have it the way I want it. This edge, I don't want any glue on it. So I just want to make sure that I'm adding glue to the right 2 sides, if you know what I mean. So just make sure you know which side needs to stay open. So I've just added a very thin, well, not so thin. I tried to add a thin layer of Tombow. It'll work. Hey, Leanne, Marva, Sarah, thanks for tuning in. Leanne, are you still getting terrible weather? I saw your Facebook post. I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, but it looked like a lot of chaos was happening in your neck of the woods. It didn't look like a safe time to be driving anywhere. All right, so we actually got some heavy rain on the weekend, so all our snow is gone, and it is no longer -6. It's up to, I think it was +6 today, so it feels like normal island winter weather now. Anyways, I wasn't always a wimp when it came to cold and snow. I came from Alberta, and it's chilly there. So, but I'm a transplant. I'm an island transplant, and I quickly became used to the warmer weather. It didn't take long. All right, so now our card looks like this. This is open, so we're going to be able to slide a little card in there. Hello, Karen. Hello, Gail. All right, now What do I need to do? Oh yes, okay. So I'm going to glue patterned paper onto the front of this piece of cardstock. Now again, this is 3 inches by 8, and it's scored and folded at 4 inches on the 8-inch side. So because the patterned paper is double-sided, I have to decide what I'm going to use. So this is absolutely beautiful, and it's almost a crime to flip it over. But I'm going to. I'm going to flip it over because I'm going to glue down some flowers, but it hurts me to do that. I don't really, I can't be the only one that has a hard time um, hiding the pretty side of paper, right? It feels like I shouldn't do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to hide this gorgeous floral print. I really like this Floral Delight patterned paper set. It's just so pretty. All right. Well, I'm glad things have calmed down for you, Leanne, because that looked nasty. But I understand it because things get really chaotic here when we get snow too. And there's a lot of accidents and things like that. All right, so I've just glued down that pattern paper onto the front of our mini card. And again, this pattern paper is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Now this is going to tuck right into the pocket. So that's our pocket card. So before I'm not finished, obviously. I've got some things. I'm going to add a sentiment. I'm going to add some flowers. I've got tiny bees. I've got ribbon. I've got twine. I've got all the things. So, oh, and I'm shedding. I'm still shedding. I'm always surprised with all these symptoms from menopause every time. Hello, Lori. Nice to see you. All right, so I cut out this really small little flower, and I'm going to glue this into the inside of the card. So I'm just going to put this down on the white cardstock. I'm just going to put it, I tend to put things in the bottom right corner on the inside of my card. It's just a me thing. But I also had a little strip left over of the pattern paper, and I thought it would be cute to just add that to the top. So I'm going to do that as well. I'm just going to add a thin line of glue across the front or across the top of that card, and then I'm just going to lay that down. And then I'll snip the edges. I might have been a little bit too heavy with the glue. So when I do that, usually I just trimmed my nails tonight, but it's handy to have a little bit of nail so you can like clean off that glue when you use too much. All right, Karen, some people get upset if you use the wrong side of the paper. I almost feel like I know who you're talking about, but I'm not going to name any names. I'm going to ask you on Sunday if my suspicions are correct, because I'll be seeing you on Sunday. I checked the weather and it looks good. I think it's only just going to be raining. Hello, Arna. Hello, Teresa. Thanks for joining. All right, so I'm just going to add some glue. I'm going to glue this down to the inside of this mini note card. Now, Karen, spoiler alert, this is going to happen on Sunday. Not this exact design, but this design, but not with these papers. That's what I'm trying to say. So there will be a fun pocket fold card in Sunday's in-person class. So you might want to close your eyes at the end of this live because I'll probably show the sample, which is the card that will be a card for Sunday. So you might need to tune out before I do that, unless you want a spoiler alert. Hello, Anna. Hello, Judy. All right, so now I need to do a little stamping. I just picked the smallest sentiment out of the Delightful Wishes stamp set that says lots of love. I'm going to stamp that on this little die cut piece that I cut out specific for my sentiment. It's a little big for my sentiment actually, but it's fine. It'll do. I'll put some bee trinkets on it actually. So I'm just stamping in Old Olive, like so. And there's lots of room. So there will be some bees. I'm going to pop this up in the middle of the card. And of course, you know what I forgot to do? I was going to wrap some ribbon and twine around the designer series paper before I glued it down, but it's too late. It's too late. So what I'm going to do is I don't usually do this because I don't like loose ribbon and I feel like it slides off, but I'm just going to tie it around this front part of the card. Normally I wouldn't do that just because I feel like if I can't secure it with my tear and tape, I feel like it's going to slide off, right? I don't want it to slide off. Hello, Jill. Karen, I'm going to bling this with tiny bee trinkets. So I finally found my reverse tweezers. Some of you may have heard me talk about these for when you need to tie a knot. And I said how handy they are and that I have a pair, but I never know where they are when I'm tying a knot. So I'm going to use them because I want my ribbon to be pretty tight because I'm not going to be able to secure it with tear and tape because I don't want tear and tape showing at the back side of this little note card, if you know what I mean. So there we go. It should stay. We'll see. All right. So if you need to finagle your loops, then I would recommend you hold the knot down with your thumb and then pull the tail. And then that way you keep your knot tight, or at least as tight as it won't loosen up as much if you put a little pressure on that when you adjust the loops of your bow. So I'm just making them a little bit smaller, personal preference. And then I'm going to trim these tails. Now I know I said I was going to use the linen thread tonight, but that's not happening because I forgot what I was doing. But anyway, you see what I mean? When you tie the ribbon around the front, oh, I've got it twisted on itself. Oh well, I'll fix that later. But what I don't love about it is the slide factor. I don't want it to slide off. However, I'm going to pop up this sentiment and that's going to help keep that ribbon from sliding off my card. Maybe I'm too worried about it. You're right, Gail, I could sneak a mini glue dot behind the bow. I do have glue dots. Most of you know that I don't love glue dots, but I do have glue dots. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Gail, because there's always a purpose for something. And maybe this is what I need to start using these glue dots for. I don't like using glue dots for holding down trinkets. I don't think that they last, but let's just see. I'm going to sneak a little glue dot right behind that bow. I'm going to press that down. And yeah, Gail, you're right. That's going to hold that in place. And then I'm going to test this. I'm going to check this card in a week and I'm going to see if that glue dot is still sticking. And then maybe I'm going to have to recant all the terrible things I've said about glue dots. Anyway, okay. Now, I'm going to pop up my sentiment and then I am going to add some flowers and some bees. All right. So I've got all sorts of little flower pieces that are missing pieces, as you can see. I'm not sure, am I going to glue or pop? I might do a mixture of both. I can't decide. Oh my goodness. I probably have more flowers than I need. Okay, I'm going to glue and possibly pop. Well, hello, Lorraine. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, cute. I am indecisive, but thank you. All right, I'm going to slide this under the sentiment piece, just like so. And then I'm going to tuck another flower piece over on this side, and it is going to stick out, but that's okay because my little note card is small and that works pretty good. Normally on a regular size card, I don't want anything overlapping because I want to pop it into an envelope and I don't want things to get bent. But this little note card, you can have pieces that extend past your card. Why not? Only thing you shouldn't do is what I just did. And don't add glue to the pieces that are going to overlap because I just did that. Now I'm going to have a sticky leaf. I'll have to let that dry. All right. Oh, Teresa, you had a glue dot that held up. All right, that's good to know. A glue dot on your car, like your actual vehicle? No way. I can't believe it. I've been given glue dots the hardest go lately, and now I feel like they deserve so much better from me. All right, so this flower, I think I'm going to pop up. Where are my dimensionals? Right in front of me. Yes, Sherry, let's pop this one up. This pattern paper is just seriously happy colors. So pretty. All right, can I fit 2 on here? Yes. I've got mini dimensionals too somewhere in my craft nest, which is like right in front of me, but I never see what's right in front of me. Okay, so now, there we go. And I'm going to add some bees. I just opened up a new pack of my tiny bee trinkets. And I was thinking about my friend Judy. Judy, if you're catching me on a replay, mine opened up so easy. Judy got a pack of the little tiny snowflakes that were out in the fall mini catalog, and the poor dear, she could not get the container open for the life of her, and she ended up using a screwdriver. Anyway, there was snowflakes everywhere. Oh no, my bee fell in the wrong way. Anyway, I always think of Judy now whenever I open up a little pack of these trinkets, that am I going to get that defective case that won't open up? Anyway, yes, Christine, that's a good idea. I will use an embossing buddy on that. All right, so I've got one bee, and I think one bee is enough. All right, so this is it. Now, what I would normally do, and I'm just going to do this for like 20 seconds while I show you my sample card. I like to weight down my trinket because I use Tombow to hold that bee in place. So I'm just going to throw my block on there. I'm going to let that sit. Usually I would let it sit for a couple minutes and then it's not going anywhere. This is the part where I complain about glue dots and tell you how much I don't like them until, today when Gail helped me discover a good use for them. Okay, Karen, if you're still watching, close your eyes because this is a spoiler alert. So this is the sample card that I made with this design, and this is going to be one of the cards in my in-person class on Sunday. So if you're coming, spoiler alert, I'm sorry. And I used I can't remember the name of this DSP now, but it doesn't matter. It's super cute. It's in the new catalog, and it's come out before, but with different colors. So these little flowers and the hearts on the honey jars, these are in Petunia Pop, but this paper came out before and it was an in color. I think it was Sweet Sorbet. Anyway, super cute. So same thing, just pops in here. Cute little card, and you might not see what the sentiment said because I used yellow, but it says, "You're as sweet as honey." And I just think that is the cutest, it's the cutest little sentiment ever. And then I just cut out a little flower from the designer series paper and pop that in the corner. So that was the sample card. First time I've ever made one of these pocket fold cards was yesterday. Yes, cute as can be, or thing, yeah. Anyway, it is cute as can be. It's adorable. And I have a whole pack of the paper, and I'm not going to make Valentine's cards. Obviously, Valentine's is over, but I didn't even make Valentine's Day cards with that paper. I don't make a lot of Valentine cards, but I'm going to use it because it's so cute. All right, my hands are out of camera view. Sorry, friends. All right, so this is it. This is our little pocket fold card. It just slides right into your pocket there. Pop it out, and you got this super cute tiny little note card. I gotta fix that. That's gonna drive me crazy. Anyway, that's for later. That's it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Now, before I forget, I put a link for the Delightful Wishes bundle in the comments. If you are in Canada and you purchase that bundle from me, then you are going to get a card class to go. It is an exclusive online tutorial only for my customers who have purchased the Delightful Wishes bundle. So these are some of the cards that are in the tutorial. There's 3 more that my friend Tanya, the Canadian stamper, designed, but I actually haven't made them. I'm ashamed to say it. This is just another one that I had made when I was trying to design for the class, but I've made quite a few different cards with the Delightful Wishes bundle. So if you pick that bundle up, it's on your wish list, you can order it from my store and you are going to get, I'm going to email you all the videos for the card class to go tutorial. So that's available for those who purchase the bundle from me, but it's also available for purchase if you don't live in Canada, if you're a demonstrator. I'm going to flip the camera around. It's like I have nothing else to show and I'm just talking with my hands. All right, so if you don't live in Canada, you can still purchase that class and you get the video tutorials. So it comes with all the measurements, all the supplies that we've used for each card project, but it does not come with card kits. Those you have to cut yourself. Now, if you buy the bundle from me, you're just going to get that video tutorial, and the link for the bundle is somewhere on this live stream. I don't know how it works because I can't see it, but I know there's a link posted. I just don't know what that looks like. Anyway, thanks very much for tuning in for tonight's project. I will post the measurements and a photo of this on the Facebook page for anybody who needs a quick reminder of the measurements. And if you're watching this replay on YouTube, you're going to find the measurements in the video description. All right, I'm missing some comments. I'm going to catch up. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, Judy. I was talking about you and the snowflake container, because I was opening up my new pack and I was wondering if I was going to have to get out my screwdriver. Anyway, I didn't. It worked. Thanks so much for tuning in, and you can catch me on Thursday night, same time, for the terrific Toadstools card class at home for the 3rd project in that series. Anyways, have a good night and thanks so much for watching.